Hey, boys and girls. Guess what? Today is our last day to work through our Apple unit. Next week, we're going to start something brand new, and it's going to be really fun. So, as we end our unit today, we're going to review all the things we've learned, and then we're going to answer a couple yes and no questions. So, we started this whole unit by learning the keyword apples. We've learned that apples are a delicious fruit that are healthy for us. We also learned that there are over 2,000 different types of apples. We also know that apples can be different colors. Apples can be green. Apples can be yellow. Apples can be red. We learned that there are some traits about apples that we can see with our eyes. A lot of apples have a leaf, just like this right here. Apples can have a stem at the top of the fruit. The outside of the apple, what you feel when you rub it in your hands, is the skin. Then, if we were to cut open the apple or just bite in, we would be able to taste the flesh. This is the flesh. All of this part right here that we normally eat is the flesh. If we bit and kept eating and eating all the way into the apple, we would get to the core. The core is the part that most of us don't really like to eat because it's really hard. But the core is so important because inside of the core are the apple seeds. So after we learned all of the different parts of the apple, then we started to talk about how an apple grows, and we learned that it all occurs through what we call a life cycle. The way that it works, and you guys can follow along on some of your diagrams with me. We have seeds, apple seeds from the core. We plant them in the ground, we give them sun, we give them water, and after a little while, out pops a seedling. The seedling will continue to get water from either a water hose or from rain, and it'll get sunlight. And eventually, after a long time, it'll turn into a beautiful tree. In the springtime, that tree will grow blossoms. And then what will happen is those blossoms will fall off of the tree, and we will begin to see these little teeny tiny apples begin to grow. In the fall, farmers will be able to go through their fields to all the apple trees. And remember from our story, a bunch of apple trees is an orchard. Farmers can go through the orchard and they can begin to pick apples. Those apples will then end up at farmers markets and grocery stores where you and your parents can buy apples. You can clean them, you can eat them, you can use them to make some delicious foods, maybe apple pie or applesauce, maybe even some apple juice. Apples are great. They're healthy for us, and they're awesome fruits that we can eat and use every day. So as we finish up our unit, we are going to look at a couple comprehension questions about apples. We're going to continue to work on using our yes and our no skills to answer the questions. So just like we do in class, I'm going to share the screen, and you guys can work with your parents to answer yes or no to the questions. Let me show you. Here we go. We're going to click to get started. So our question is, do apples grow on trees? True or false? Which means yes or no. Do apples grow on trees? Yes, they do. They totally grow on trees. Let's look at our next question. Apple trees start as tiny seeds. Do apple trees start as tiny seeds? Yes or no? Yes, they totally start as these little bitty seeds. Isn't that amazing? Do roots, the roots of our seedling, do they grow in the sky or do they grow in the ground? They grow in the ground. So we're going to put false for this because they don't grow in the sky. That's silly. Apples are purple. Yes or no? No. We learned that apples can be red, green, and yellow, but I haven't seen a purple apple before. Flowers grow on apple trees. Yes or no? Do the flowers grow on apple trees? Yes, they do. We call them blossoms. Bees help apples grow. Yes or no? Do the bees help the apples grow? Yes, they do. It's through what we call pollination. Water and sunshine to grow. Yes or no? Yes, they do. A tree always needs water and sunshine. It takes minutes for an apple tree to grow from a seed. Yes or no? Can it happen in just a few minutes? The amount of time it takes you to watch a TV show? No, it actually takes a very long time, sometimes a couple of years. Apples are ready to eat in the fall. Yes or no? Yes, we know that they're ready to eat in the fall because fall is coming. Apples are a type of candy. Yes or no? No, apples aren't candy. Apples are a fruit. You guys did it, and you did amazing. I'm so proud of you and how hard you've worked through our Apple unit. Guess what? We know that fall is starting next week. So if fall's coming, that means it's apple season. Aren't you excited? I bet we're going to get to see a lot of yummy apples as we go to stores with our families. Well, there's an activity for you guys on your seesaw where you can look at these yes and no questions again and try and answer them one more time. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.